Okay guys, let's take a look at the convex lens. It's the one that's fat in the middle. It is converging, meaning it condenses the light. This is its symbol. It looks like it's an arrow pointed in toward the middle to indicate that it's getting fat in the middle. There's two little things we need to know. This is the near side focus, the one on the side of the object. This is the far side focus, the one on the opposite side of the object. Okay, so the first thing we need to know is there's two types of lines, just like there was on mirrors. For a convex lens, it's from the top to the lens, then bends through the far focus. So let's draw this one on our first example. Now, you'll notice the far focus is right here, okay, right here. So this guy is the far focus. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one line, we're going to go straight from the top to the lens, and then it's going to bend through the far focus. Okay, our second line is going to go from, get a color, all right. The second line, it says, is going to go from the top through the near focus to the lens, then it's going to bend straight. So in order to go through the near focus, I'm going to have to trace it up, and then I'm going to draw a line straight from there to the lens. Now, once it hits the lens, it's going to bend straight. So bend straight. Now, you'll notice that this and this will never meet. So I've got to trace backwards and trace backwards. Alright, now you cannot have a dotted line meeting a solid line. If you have a dotted line meeting a solid line, nothing's happening there. Only dotted lines can converge, and only solid lines can converge. You can't, so this right here means nothing because it's a dotted line crossing a solid line. Can't have anything happening there. Alright, so your image though forms where these two lines cross, and in this case it is right here. So that's where your image would form. Your image would be larger. Your image would be virtual because the two lines do not actually cross, and your image would be bigger. Alright? But second type, way outside the focus. So again, first line, from top to lens, then bends through the far focus. Alright, so I'm going to go from the top to the lens, and then I'm going to bend it through the far focus, the focus on the opposite side of the object. Alright, pretend like that went through the focus. Let's try that. Alright, we're definitely just going to pretend like that one went through the focus. Alright, the second one is going to go from the top through the near focus, and when it hits the lens, it's going to bend straight. Where those two lines intersect is where your image is formed, and this image is going to be smaller, real, because the lines actually cross, and it's going to be inverted, because the line forms below that normal, or you can look at it as the arrow has to be pointing upside down. Okay? And the last type is another one where we have the object near the focus. It's going to form a real image. It's just going to be slightly larger than the actual object. So it's slightly different. It's just another little thing to be aware of. Alright, so first line, the drawing is the exact same as this one. You just get a slightly different result. So let's look at it. So we're going to go straight to the mirror, and then we're going to bend through the focus. Alright, so we got that done. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the near side focus to the lens. Okay? And then let me try that again. And then when we hit the lens, we're going to bend straight. So I actually need to lengthen this slightly so that it goes through. Where those two lines meet is where the image is formed. So this is where your image forms, and your image in this case is going to be real. It's going to be inverted. Note that this is the same as this up to that point. It's real, it's inverted, just like this one, real, inverted, real, inverted. The only difference is in this case it is bigger instead of smaller. Okay, bigger instead of smaller. Alright, now let's move on to the concave lens. Okay, the second type of lens is the concave lens. This is a diverging lens. It's thin in the middle. So what you have to do is you have to go from the top of the lens, from the top to the lens, then bend through the far focus. So on the first one, we're going to go from the top to the lens, top to the lens, and we're going to bend through the far focus. Now, whenever you bend through, it's not the far focus, I apologize, it is the near focus, because this is diverging, this is not a concave lens. Let me change that real quick. So we get from the near focus, and then this one is far. There we go. Now I fixed it. I apologize. It is from the top to the lens, then it bends through the near focus. So, let's look at it. It's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. It's going to trace from the focus there, and then it's going to go and be bent. Alright, because it's a diverging lens. They don't converge. Alright, second one is going to appear to go through the far focus. And then when it hits the lens, it will bend straight. So it's going to appear to go through this far focus here. Let's see if I can try this. And then when it hits this line, it's going to bend straight. So your end result is you have to trace back. And where these two dotted lines cross is where your image forms. So our image would form right there. Alright, remember that this can't make an image because if a solid line crosses a dotted line, nothing happens. So we get our image form right there. The first one is going to be it is going to be a virtual image. It is going to be it's going to be upright, and it is going to be smaller. And all concave lenses are the same. So don't worry about trying to memorize anything else. This is the same for all of these. So if you can remember this one, all concave lenses will be the same for you. And it is smaller. That's what I was trying to write. Alright, please excuse my little error there. I just messed up and wrote the wrong words in the wrong spots. So, but this is correct. Alright, from the top to the lens, then bends through the focus. From the top through the far focus to the lens. And remember that the near focus is the one that is closest to the object, and the far focus is the one that is the farther from the object. Alright, so anyway, hopefully that carries you through lenses, and hopefully if you missed a day, maybe you could pick it up there, and hopefully if you were here that day and I just didn't do a great job of explaining it, maybe you can figure it out now. Alright, well, hope that helps.